Nobody warns you about adulthood because if they did, you wouldn't believe them anyway. You grow up thinking adulthood is freedom. But what you actually get is responsibility without instruction, pressure without applause, and exhaustion without explanation. The first thing nobody warns you about is that energy becomes more valuable than time. As a child, you have energy but no control over time. As an adult, you may have time, but not the energy to use it. Psychologists call this ego depletion. Every decision you make drains mental energy. What to eat, what to say, what to ignore, what to worry about. By the end of the day, you're not lazy. You're mentally spent. Another thing nobody warns you about is that life becomes administratively heavy. Bills, emails, passwords, appointments, documents. This is known as cognitive load, the invisible weight of managing modern life. None of it feels important individually, but together it quietly exhausts you. That's why adults feel tired even on days they did nothing. Nobody warns you that friendships stop being automatic. As children, proximity creates friendship. As adults, intention is required. Schedules don't align. Messages go unanswered, not out of dislike, but fatigue. This leads to social atrophy, where relationships fade not because of conflict, but because of friction. That's why loneliness in adulthood feels confusing. You're surrounded by people, yet emotionally alone. Nobody warns you that validation disappears. In school, progress is measured. Grades praise milestones. In adulthood, effort often goes unnoticed. You can work harder than ever and feel invisible. This creates what psychologists call effort-reward imbalance, a condition strongly linked to burnout and depression. You start asking yourself, is this all there is? Nobody warns you that freedom comes with constant self-doubt. Every choice feels permanent. Career, relationships, location. This creates decision paralysis, the fear of choosing wrong because there's no clear feedback system anymore. No one tells you if you're doing life correctly. Nobody warns you that your identity will break and rebuild multiple times. The version of you at 18 will not survive your 20s. The version of you at May 25th not survive your 30s. Psychologists call this identity diffusion, a normal but uncomfortable phase where you outgrow who you were but haven't become who you will be. It feels like being lost, but it's actually transformation. Nobody warns you that rest will start to feel guilty. Rest becomes something you earn, not something you need. This is a result of productivity conditioning, where self-worth becomes tied to output. You feel anxious doing nothing, even when your body needs it. Nobody warns you that emotions become quieter but heavier. Adult pain isn't dramatic. It's subtle. It's not heartbreak, it's disappointment. Not anger, it's resentment. Not sadness, it's numbness. This is called emotional compression, where feelings don't explode, they accumulate. That's why adulthood doesn't feel chaotic. It feels dull and heavy. Nobody warns you that life stops feeling urgent. Days blur. Weeks disappear. Years pass faster than expected. This is due to routine-based time perception. When life becomes repetitive, the brain records fewer memories, making time feel faster in retrospect. That's why adulthood feels like it's speeding up. And finally, nobody warns you about this. Adulthood is not about becoming happy. It's about becoming stable enough to handle unhappiness. You don't become stronger by avoiding difficulty. You become stronger by surviving quiet, invisible struggles without losing yourself. If adulthood feels heavy, confusing, or empty at times, it doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're experiencing it accurately. Once you understand this, you stop blaming yourself and start navigating life with clarity instead of shame. That's adulthood.